of the most striking things you'll see about this scene is all the debris like this scattered throughout the area. It is waterlogged. The vehicle behind us covering over the nearby street, preventing traffic from going in or coming out. A hospital that remains in lockdown, and the reason why is only steps away from our location. You can see the shooting scene just right over there. As for how long these mangled street signs have been this way, all depends on who you ask. We break out the plastic bag here to give you an idea of some of the wind action in this area. Fans flew in all the way from Los Angeles to get to tonight's game. The original start time, there's one right there, 7:05. But of course, Mother Nature had a different start time in mind.
Somebody in there? Oh my God.
Following a two-car crash, a Chevy Malibu catches fire with at least one person inside. Jonique Bulls shot video of the desperate attempts to open the car door.
We saw a few people trying to get the people out of the car.
The door was jammed or whatever, and there was a lady in the back, laid sort of like that.
People from down the street came with hammers trying to break into the car, and no one could get in there.
Just boom, and the cops caught on fire. They just an inferno, and it just.
Hearing screams, you don't forget that.
We tried, couldn't get out.
Robert Phillips tried to rescue those inside. He was leaving a church service at the time when the crash occurred at Harrison and Oakley. Police say the Malibu struck a Mitsubishi Outlander, then toppled a light pole. The impact scattering car parts. The Malibu eventually caught fire from the crash.
It sounded like a gunshot.
Then I heard this boom.
It was emotional.
Couldn't get her out. Excuse me.
I can't imagine what he's going through.
The agony of loss felt at the crash scene. Friends and family of loved ones learning the impact proved fatal. Firefighters say at least 3 people died at the scene, a place of a violent collision and enormous grief.
I just pray for strength and for peace for these families.
And police are telling us that 2 people of interest are being questioned in connection with this crash. Of course, their investigation continues. They are used to the pains created by all the trains in this part of LaGrange.
It does get pretty crazy here, huh?
It's hectic at times.
When the safety bar goes down, traffic backs up. Over time, especially during rush hour, the nearby area of Ogden and LaGrange periodically looks more like a parking lot than an intersection.
Things can get backed up here.
This crosswalk isn't always clear, is it?
No.
Yes, that is the problem. That is the problem.
Stop sign says you could walk, but you actually can't because cars are in the way.
These people are being jerks.
Stephen Lifka says he has spoken to police and to the offending drivers.
Try and ask them, hey, what are you doing, man? They just look at me as if I have 2 heads.
That's sick. He spent time recording and posting the gridlock and pedestrian problems online. Offline, people are starting to notice.
I mean, you have to dodge here and there.
Is that a safety issue?
It is.
I've had close calls myself, and I've seen close calls, but I do not think I've ever seen a pedestrian hit.
I mean, have you seen accidents here?
I have not seen accidents.
Is it only a matter of time?
Yes, it is only a matter of time.
What starts with the roar of a train, less than courteous drivers, one man hopes isn't finished by the echo of an ambulance.
To see it through my perspective.
Ultimately, Lifka is hoping that police can be out here watching this intersection more often, ticketing drivers perhaps if necessary. We did reach out to the police department as well as village leaders for comment on this story. Neither returned our calls.
Large hot chocolate?
If this is how you start your day, if these kinds of beans are part of your normal routines, consider for a moment
this is not normal.
when a calming cup of coffee seems so far out of reach.
It's hard to be here. The best thing about coming to the PICU
PICU stands for Pediatric Intensive Care Unit.
is the day you leave the PICU.
It's the floor of the hospital where the kids are the sickest.
Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours that we have spent in this place.
Throw that cup of coffee in and it makes everything a little bit better.
Just put it behind them.
Before we tell you about the plans Carolyn Koppel has brewing, you'll need to know about her son, Aaron Cobb.
He has braces on his feet.
He doesn't communicate. It's a rare metabolic genetic disorder.
Through the years, Aaron has undergone more than a dozen procedures, his health struggles sometimes surfacing at night with his mom and family members at times, struggling to stay awake.
Cafe au lait?
But too worried to go far enough to get a needed cup of caffeine.
What if your child is in a critical stage and you don't want to leave the floor?
Sometimes they're just too scared to go.
And that's when an idea began to percolate.
Well, why can't I write Keurig?
Corporate donation and hospital permission eventually served up Aaron's Coffee Corner. This station was up and running in October with hopes of expanding.
Try and get it on every great room here.
I think it would be great if it was on every floor.
The fundraising is to manage the machine, so we need somebody to kind of, yeah, hi baby.
So far, the family has collected more than $24,000 to keep coffee pods and cups in supply and keep families in calamities decompressing with decaf or other varieties.
Starting to be part of the tradition and the social ritual of the families.
It's a great opportunity for us to give back, and it's a living legacy for Aaron.
Doctors said Aaron would not live past age 3. Now at 13, his family wants to make sure his name is grounds for comfort and caring for years to come.
He's not long for this world, but he makes the most of it, and our family makes the most of it.
It's a tangible joy that you can give somebody.
Jeremy Ross, CBS 2 News.
Right now at 6:30, a violent holiday weekend in Chicago claims the life of a 7-year-old boy. Plus, we're taking a look at some of the 4th of July celebrations held around the area. And what a long, strange trip it's been. The Grateful Dead play their final show at Soldier Field this evening. Good morning to everyone out there. I'm Jeremy Ross alongside Mary Kate Kleiss. Thank you for sharing your morning with us. If you have any coffee to share as well, we could probably use that too. New this morning, a 7-year-old boy returning from a 4th of July celebration is shot and killed in Humboldt Park. Police say he and another victim were standing on the sidewalk near Hardick and Thomas just before midnight when shots were fired. The boy was hit in the chest. Paramedics rushed him to Stroger Hospital, where he later died. The other victim, a 26-year-old woman, was also taken to Stroger in stable condition. Police believe the victims were not targeted. So far, no one is in custody. A 14-year-old boy is dead after a fight on Facebook transitions into real-life violence. The Wisconsin teen died after he was shot Friday night. Police say the boy and a group of friends had an argument on Facebook with another group of people over a girl. The two groups met up at a fireworks show. That is when someone fired a barrage of 8 or 9 shots. Police continue to search for suspects. Rescuers in China scrambled to find people trapped during an earthquake, even as the ground was still shaking. Surveillance video shows a group of soldiers running for the door after a 6.5 magnitude quake in far western China Friday. Many arrived at the hardest hit areas within minutes. At least 6 people were killed and dozens more were injured. Take a look at what's going on behind me. These serious flames in the boardwalk in Atlantic City. This fire reportedly broke out at a 4th of July celebration while the boardwalk was lined with visitors. Fortunately, no reports of any injuries. For people who have difficulty making toast, like myself, this is actually a pretty good way to go.
No cooking required.
And of course, both these things are non-fat, right?
Of course, no calories. And fresh strawberry scones, which are my favorite.
I've tried making scones before.
Oh, how did that go?
It did not go well. It did not go well.